Now, my realm of what I do is identity shift. I help you make success your second nature. You can write that down because that's the goal. We're going to learn that today. But here's the thing, as I kind of navigate like who I am, I always want to figure like, how do I operate, how do I flow? And because identity shift is what I do, I have a statement. My podcast is called this, but it's all shift. Now, it's kind of like the F word. In a sense, you could say like, all shift, like I agree. Or like, all shift, like that's awesome, right? So I want you to practice with me. Who knows what it's like to get to the point where you're at now, trying to learn something, and it's difficult? Say, all shift. Yes, you guys are learning. I like it. Beautiful. So for me, the big thing is I want to teach you guys kind of who I am. So you get a chance to feel who I am, how I got here, how the flow works. Do I have permission to fully be me? Yes. Thank you, because you're going to get every bit of it. The good, the bad, the crazy. So for me, I got to this point where like I was doing some awesome stuff. Like I've been on 6 national television stations doing weird stuff, from TV shows where I'm in the woods, naked and afraid. They put me out there thinking like, oh, former NFL guy. He's going to do horrible on the show. I killed it. I was out there. I was in the woods like climbing things and swimming. I swam like 100 yards, killing it. Yes, I'm black, but I could swim. Oh, you're going to find out why in a second. Just so you know, I got a lot of these jokes, so don't get offended. I promise they're not on purpose to hurt your feelings. It's just who I am. So welcome. I get to travel the world and speak, played in the NFL, did a whole bunch of weird, crazy things. And here's the one thing I got to the point of. At one point I lost my career, you'll hear about in a second. But the greatest travesty of my life would have been having a long football career. If I'd have played in the NFL for a lot of years and then retired, you'd never know me. And I promise you, looking back on life, when I was that guy, I wanted that thing, and it would have been the worst thing for me, because this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. Just so you know. Thank you. Hope you feel it, because it's gonna have some fun. I'm trying to tell you. So that's why I look at like, what is the things that we're here to do? And here's what I've realized in our life. We're all here to create something. Now you see a tripod, look at this amazing view right there. Now think about a tripod holds up something called a C, a camera, right? Well, the tripod of your life is what you create. The life, the body, the mindset, the business, literally whatever you create. And it stands on the same kind of 3 legs. These 3 legs are tools, write this down, techniques, strategies, and that kind of stuff. So I gotta move a little bit. And there's the last one, the most important one that so many of us falter with, is the technician. Now, if I got amazing tools, strategies, different things that help me be great, right? I got these different ideas and different stuff that can work. If you give an amazing manual and an amazing tool to a baby, they don't get it done. Now, I'm not saying you're babies. Someone might have got drunk and pooped their pants last night, but you're not a baby. It's okay, right? But at the end of the day, there's part of us I want to talk about that has to be built up to handle the tools and techniques that we have access to. Can I get an all shift? Oh, yeah. Now, it's going to be a sucky one to hear. To be totally honest, what ends up happening is going to be things I'm going to tell you today that I tell you with love, not because of any more reason. I want you to gain something from my time with you. I am not here for me, just so you know, no part of what I'm doing here if I'm worried about Anthony anymore. I feel good. Damn it, I look good, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, like, I don't get nervous because when I show up, I'm like, what am I going to give to you? Because this is your life right here with me. I don't want to take anything from you without giving something incredible back to you. Does this make sense? You got to operate in the same mindset, because we create content sometimes, you're making it for you. You got to make it for the person who's going to spend time there in the quiet, dark moments of their life saying, I need your help, and serve them. The nervousness should go away a little bit, but it will disappear just a little bit. Over time, we start to see what you're serving for, and it becomes easy to do. It looks natural and normal. I'm going to talk about how to get to natural and normal. Now, the reality is, the next level of anything you want in your life comes to the next level of who you are. Not what you have access to, not what, thing that you bought, not some strategy. That's a part of it, I promise, a part of it. Farb, Steve, I see you down there, my man. What's up, dog? It's a part of it, but it's not all of it. Can you see that? It's at the bottom. It says, the next level of what you want. Now I know to make slides have words higher, because I'm seeing everybody pop up and down like Pokemoles. What are those, whack-a-mole thing? Take a picture if you want. The next level of what you want comes the next level of who you are. Now, that next level we're going to talk about, because here's what I want you to think about. what we do up here, you see people on stage, it almost looks kind of easy, right? Like it seems like it's effortless. Oh, hell no, it ain't effortless. This takes time and energy and investment. And I'm gonna talk to you about how to get to that point, because you all wanna walk out of here and know, like, how do I get to the point of taking what I've already purchased? Who's bought tools and techniques already? With those, who's done everything they ever wanted to do with that tool and technique? Right? Now, I'm gonna tell you today, I'm gonna teach you how to make that possible. Sound like a good idea? Can I get all shift? All shift. This one's mine. I just wanna make sure I don't wanna be drinking bees water. I might turn into a weird guy. Hold on. That solved the problem. I was getting that weird, like, raspy voice where I start having, like, phlegm. You know when you work out really hard, you get, like, that lung butter that comes up? Yeah, I was having that. So it's just no more of that. Here we go. Hey, this is me. We have a lot of fun. I do, at least. I hope you see that. So there's 3 ways we're gonna do it, 3 steps to how this works. The first step is you have to own your shift. Oh, write that down, baby. Write it down. I can't sing, but I sang for a second. Now, the big thing about owning your shift is this. There's a couple levels to it. First, you have to own that you are the one that has to do this work. Own that, because a lot of us, we want to hire teams, hire people, and do that for me. I want my money to make me money. It don't work that way, right? So I got to find a way to own the shift. Then I have to make a shift. Shift is different than change. Change seems heavy, right? But shift is like, oh, if I just shift that little piece right there, it's a little better. If somebody flew from right now the East Coast to here, if you change the trajectory of the flight by 1 degree of a shift, you'd end up 40 miles different from where you plan to be. How many people in this room need a shift? Oh, shift, let me hear it. Right? And it's just a small thing. It's not always a massive, large, crazy thing. The idea is like, how do I get to the point of like making that little shift that makes the difference and I arrive at the destination I've been trying to get to? Right? And the idea is like, we gotta own this shift and make it happen. And I've had a lot of times in my life where it wasn't easy. And for me, like, realistically, I was forced to do this from a very young age. Now, for me in life, when it started, like, you see this happy, joyous guy, and damn it, I am a happy, joyous man. If you know me outside of here, this is me to an extent more than anybody gets. In fact, my wife hates it and loves it at the same time. Like, she loves that I'm happy, but when we're fighting, she hates that I'm happy. But at the end of the day, like, this is gonna be me, because I understand what happens. For me, like, I grew up in a situation where I wasn't the one that looked like everybody else. If you see me, I'm the dark guy in the dark corner up there. Yeah. That's why I make weird jokes like I do, like the first one earlier on. But this is what I grew up in. I was given away at 3 years old to a foster care system. Now, in foster care, at the time I was put in 1986 to 89, I was what's called a paycheck. It means that as long as I don't die in the system, they get their paycheck. Didn't mean they had to take care of me, had to feed me, love me, nothing. I was beaten, I was starved, I was tortured, I was put in shopping carts, pushed down hills, forced to lick the bottom of kids' shoes, forced to be put in a chicken coop at one point and chase a chicken and hopefully catch the chicken so I could eat a meal that night. I hoarded food. I had food behind my bed because I would sneak out in the middle of the night and go places and take food from the house and put it somewhere, because when I was starving, hungry, and they wouldn't feed me, I could go and nibble on a piece of cheese. I wasn't even 6 years old at the time. I was finally moved to a house which is my family to this day. That's my heart. It's my world, my family. I look a little bit different, but that's my family. And family's crazy. Thank you. And here's what's cool, like, this family gave me something I never had, sense of self-worth. Like, you're part of a family here, what B is created. It's like you feel like you're part of something. Can I get an all shift? Right? I'm different, I'm unique. I'm here at this event. Forever and always, you're part of a unique little family right now. And that's a powerful thing, because it allows you to chase dreams and do different stuff. My dream was to hit people and not get in trouble. I wanted to go out. I had this energy, this anger, this grit that had to go somewhere. And it was great because I could put into that guy's body. Yeah, not get in trouble. It felt so good, like I had this sense of self-worth. I could do something that gave me power and strength and like a reason for being here. Who wants a reason for being here? And know it, right? Hell yeah. That was what I wanted. And I did. I worked towards it, built this thing up, and in doing so, like, I became a better human. I was making these little shifts along the way. I found this amazing woman who became high school sweethearts. She's dope, right? Look at her. She's sexy, baby. Oh, high school sweethearts, man. This beautiful, smart, incredible woman. To be honest, most people don't know this. When I was trying to get into college, I had horrible grades. She was like an academic all-star, summa cum laude from college when she graduated. She was like 4.2 student in high school. So this guy had no idea how to even study. She would let me go to her house, teach me how to study. We did other things. Different thing. We're not gonna go there. We'll leave that. You stay back there. I'm gonna come over here now, right? So I had this situation where I'm like having this great relationship, and I feel great, and I feel good, and then I get a chance to go play college football at the University of Oregon. Go Ducks! Yeah. Any Duck fans? Yeah, my folks. So now I get this opportunity to go there. And my wife's family, well, my wife later on, my girlfriend's family says, hey, when you go up to college with this guy, because she went to college with me, hey, just don't get pregnant. 6 months later, oh man. I mean, if you'd have seen me in college, I mean, you know. So I get to college and I have this great relationship. Then I'm blessed with an opportunity to play in the league. Ooh. I get to go and strap a helmet on a professional football team. Something a foster kid doesn't get to do. Numerically, in California, in the state, the whole entire country, if you go to any prison in America, 75% of the inmates are former foster kids. 51% of the homeless population in America are like me. Less than 1% will go to college in their lifetime. I don't belong on a piece of paper. I don't. In NFL, 0.00000, like 1% of football players are blessed with that opportunity. Like, I'm a numeric oddity. I don't exist in some paper, to be honest. Thank you so much. It's a whole different climb. Appreciate it. I truly do. Like, that's, and I didn't, the whole time I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, what's just the next step? So I just tried new things, right? And then I tore my shoulder in the last game playing for the Steelers. I get to this point where, like, I come home and I open this amazing gym called Trucks Training. Now, here's the thing. When I opened this gym, I just wanted to give back in a way that wasn't given to me. Like, sports helped me become this great person, this great, powerful guy. And, like, I had this cool gym, and I'm like, this is great. I tore my shoulder, but I can still get back into the league. Like, I got to do workouts and practice. I was flying back doing workouts. This dream was still there for football. I could still be this guy and go out and just kill it, right? Do my thing. It was still this back and forth. And then I get a call from the Bills. Hey, we want to sign you, but we're going to put a waiver on your shoulder, which means if you get hurt, nobody pays for it. So my agent tells me, like, hey, you can take this contract and go back and play in the league again, but dude, at the end of the day, just realize, like, if you get hurt, that's it. So you have to choose. Do you want this to be the reality of what you do for a contract, because every team's going to say this, or is it time to move on? I'd spent 12 years of my life being the football guy. In my hometown, that's who I was. Sense of self-worth, like, this is who I am. I'm the football guy, and then I had to make a choice. And the heavy choice was, it's time to hang it up. So now all of a sudden, I no longer have football. My marriage, I came home, man, my wife and I were golden while I was playing, like golden. But then I came home, and that gym you saw became a massive anchor for my life. And what happened is I'm now at this point where I have this gym, but I'm giving more to my gym than I am to my family. Who's ever seen this happen? You give more to this thing because you want to find you again. I want to find Anthony again. Where's Anthony? Who's this guy? And so I gave all of this here, but I had nothing left here. I get to this point where I find out on a vacation to Hawaii, my wife's having an affair. Broke me. Because I'm like I'm the football guy. Like, this is my blood. I have 3 kids. I got 3 kids at this time. Like, I had this internal, like, I'm worthless. It's being stripped away. I've lost football. The gym's going horribly. I've now lost my marriage. And then from there, like, I'm in a situation where this beautiful family I have, this family's being stripped from me. And what's horrible for me is realizing, like, what I went through as a kid, what the reality was for me, I was in some way creating for my kids, because now I get divorced and I don't have that family unit that I wanted so bad. Like, that meant the world to me. You have no idea. Because my blood. Then I get to the point where like I have this gym that it's kind of going back and forth and it's falling apart from underneath me. This thing I've been trying to do for so long just isn't what I wanted it to be. Can I get an all shift for what happens when you can't get the dream? All right, it's like, damn, like what do I do? And so I started eating. I would legit go, and I used to look good. I wasn't like this. It's time, like I have my health, and I got to this point where I've lost my relationship. I've lost my family. I've lost this career that made me me in football. I got this crisis that's just pulling me apart. And I get to this level where it's like, and I'm just going home. In between, I'd do morning clients. I'd go home, drink like 3 or 4 Blue Moons, watch some weird shows, go back to work. It's laughable, but it was sad for me. I lost that. Then I got to this point where I'm thinking like, I've lost everything. Everything. I've lost every piece of what made this guy this guy. The identity was completely stripped away. And you already see the level of my life. I was to figure out like, who the hell am I? I'm the black kid that's like an Oreo, that's in the white family, that's like a decent athlete, not a decent athlete, that's married. I have a kid in college, like all this weird stuff going on. And like, I don't know who I am. And then I come home and everything I thought I was now gone. I get to this point where literally like I'm empty, like this screen. And I remember at this moment in time where like I had this fog and I just had this pain. The brain can't always distinguish between physical and emotional pain, unfortunately. So when I have that physical, like that like emotional, mental pain, like it feels like I can't breathe and I can't think and it just hurts and I want to stop. And I just drive off one day and I sent a text to my friends and to my wife at the time, and I said, please tell my children who their father was. Like I didn't know what to do. So I drove off, and thankfully it was late enough at night, to be honest. I was out looking for rat poison. The stores happened to be closed. Thankfully, I parked the car in Stockton, California, and I sat there, and GPS found me. The cops found me. At this time, like I was kind of like, it snapped out of it. I was kind of like figuring things out, and I had this weighted fog. Who's been in that fog before of pain? Like the bills can't get paid, yeah, things aren't going right. Like I had this fog and it just stayed on me. And I remember this weight just kind of sat for like, honestly, about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And I went through the motions. We've gone through the motions. Can I get all shift, like gone through the motions? Right, I don't know what it feels like. I don't know what to do. Like it's just this weight. And then I remember I had this moment in time. It was April 2014, April 15th. And I'm sitting in this hospital. Beautiful day outside, spring day in the hospital. It's me, my dad, my grandma, and my mom. And I'm sitting there, and what ends up happening, it was interesting, because yesterday, E.T. talked about his wife and MS. And when I was 14, when I actually got adopted, my mom was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And so I'm in this situation where now I'm sitting here watching in a room with my mom in a bed, my dad on her left side, my grandma on her left side, and me on her right side holding her right hand. We're watching this heart rate monitor. And you just see it just beating like the heart you hear. And then it got slower. And what ended up happening, to get to this point where we're all watching each other, and they took her off of a life support kind of situation, and we just watched her taking her breaths and breathing just in and out, in and out. And then we saw it get more labored. And then my dad and I, we locked eyes, and like we realized like this is that moment. And we look at my mom, and she inhales. And exhales her final breath. And in that moment, it's a very heavy moment, because this is now when the reality sets in of like this life just ended in front of my eyes. And we all don't think about that moment a lot, like, and it happens quick. And then the thought in my head was like, that's it. Like, that's it. Whatever dreams she had, like, it was done. And I mean, for me, it's like, it's weird because it's bittersweet, because you have this moment where, yes, like this person lost her life and it was difficult, but she was also in pain, like a lot of pain. So to see her go off to heaven was like a great feeling. And then I had this thought of like, man, like what am I gonna have going on when I die? Like when I leave this earth, because it's gonna happen. It's like, what's gonna happen? Like genuinely in that moment, I thought this. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, this is all it is. Like, if I created what I want, I'm in this fog right now. Is that what you wanted for my life? And it was this thought of like, no, like, who am I? It's a question like, who the hell are you, Aunt? And I started thinking like all the stuff that's going on in my life, what she created, who she was, and what she did. Numerically, I shouldn't exist, but there's a reason that I am on the stage doing what I do, and the reason is the woman you see on the screen right now. It's my mom. I have her name tattooed on my arm here. Thank you. I'm redirecting the claps to her because those aren't for me. She loved me past crazy unconditionally. Like unconditionally. I was a bad little kid. And I had this thought in the back of my head like, dude, how did you love this crazy bad little kid? And the reality was that she just unconditionally loved me. Like unconditionally, like she just poured in, and it was to the level, like for a while I didn't want that love. Like I want my real mom, and and then I was like, yeah, okay. And she just loved me. And I realized like the best way that I can live for this woman is to do the same thing for the world, to unconditionally love you through my actions, my work, my heart, which is why I love doing this. Thank you.